Hello everyone. Welcome to our stream. Amazing. As we are moving forward with these streams, जैसे जैसे हम और स्ट्रीम्स करते जा रहे हैं, हम एक्सपेरिमेंट्स भी कर रहे हैं और आज की एक्सपेरिमेंट हम एक बहुत स्पेशल गेस्ट के साथ करने वाले हैं, बट वी विल गेट इनटू दैट गेस्ट्स इंट्रोडक्शन इन जस्ट अ बिट. ठीक है, अभी के लिए लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड विथ आवर इंट्रोडक्शंस. Hello Rakshit, you are the first comment. Welcome. Hello to Rakshit, Akshit, Harsh, Shubham. जल्दी जल्दी सट्टा लगा लेता हूँ फिर अपनी स्ट्रीम भी. Yes, it is match time. It is match time. What that means is we are at the start of the IPL season. So that should be very interesting. A lot of bros, I think, might have dropped off because they're like, dude, IPL is more important to me. But for the others, you got to do both, right? We're seeing a lot of repeat people. So hello Kashvi, hello Meta Narayan. Ooh, I like that name. Shubham, Akshit, Viren, Abhinav, Pranoy. Aaj maza aayega, bro. Somebody saying Magarmach shirt. This is Magarmach shirt tonight. I was actually gonna go full desi, right? With like proper this thing out, but I felt like it might be overdoing it. So today I'm gonna be slightly muted with just the Magarmach shirt. So today we're gonna have a lot of fun, right? We have someone very special, as I've dropped it on Twitter. I've actually announced who this is, right? I've tagged that person in that tweet, so a lot of you know who we're going to talk about. But आज के लिए जल्दी से, okay? प्लीज़ चैट में तैयार हो जाइए. मैं आपको इंट्रोड्यूस करने वाला हूँ हमारे आज के कॉन्वर्जेशन पार्टनर, मेरे बिजनेस पार्टनर 10K डिजाइनर्स के. हेलो जैनील.
Hey, what's up, everyone? What's up, Avino? What's up, everybody? Super excited to be here. Game Cho. I am a Gujju. Fucking excited to be here.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. So, for people who don't know who Jayneil is, today we will introduce you to the mystery, the enigma that is Jayneil Dalal. Okay, Jayneil and I met sometime last year, maybe in November 2020, and Jayneil runs a podcast called The Design MBA, and we actually got on that podcast. We had an amazing conversation. Jayneil, do you remember which podcast number that is? Probably not.
Damn,
okay.
I want to say.
So you can look that up if you're interested in hearing our first conversation ever. That's on Jayneil's podcast. But Jayneil, we're seeing a lot of game shows in the chat.
Game Cho, everybody. Majama Cho.
Okay, so we're gonna get started. Okay?
Accent se to orgasm ho jaye.
So,
oh my god, I had to work a lot on it though. Anyways.
So Jayneil, tell us this, okay? These days, when you meet someone new and they're like, "Oh, hello, nice to meet you," what's the intro that you give them? Because you are, as I can tell everybody else, one of the most proficient generalists that I know. So tell me, what's your intro?
Well, usually if I tell people in one line, I would just say that made in Gujarat, polished in Texas. That's pretty much like a one-line intro I kind of go into. And, you know, like I meet a lot of desis abroad and stuff. And, you know, there's like mixed stuff. A lot of people are embracing their origin. Some people are ashamed of it. And you've got the whole spectrum. For me, I think the biggest blessing that I've got, or an advantage that I feel I've gotten, is that I was born in India. Because when you're born in India, the competition is insane, right? Sitting down for AIEEE, IIT, the competition, I mean, all these things, bro. इतना tough competition था कि अगर कोई बंदा या बंदी वो survive कर ले और abroad चले जाए, especially like Texas or US for that matter, so then it almost seems like तुम वो contra game जो बचपन में खेलते थे ना, you're playing with like a cheat code, like 30 lives. Like it's literally like much easier. So I just tell people that I am a Gujju who learned this trade in India, and now we're just deploying that in the US. As simple as that.
Perfect, dude. That's really good. We're seeing a lot of Jayneil bras in the chat. We're also saying
Bruh.
we're also saying some Gujarati which I cannot read, but I will still highlight on the screen.
Oh my god.
We're seeing a lot of Mota Bhai OP.
Oh yeah. क्या रे भाई बद्दा मोटा भाई छे आवे.
Okay.
So mota bhai means just like bigger brother.
Got it. So let's do this, okay?
Yeah.
That's a great intro. That really gives a lot of perspective of where you're from. But tell me this. What was Jenny like as a... So today, of course, let me put some more context for everybody. Today, Jayneil helps run 10K designers with me. We're running the cohort together, cohort 3. Jayneil also has taught at a university in Texas, in Dallas to be specific. He also has worked as a designer in B2B in enterprise software for a long time. And he's done a bunch of stuff before that, which we might get into. But Jayneil, tell me, what were you like in school? That's where I want to start.
Oh my god. School. So I went to Prakash School in Ahmedabad, and I was always very curious, even when I'm back in school. But I was very like not sure of my talent. I was second guessing because the only metric that people had to measure back in the day, like in 10th standard, I got like I was good. Like I was lucky that I got 80% and somehow got the science. I had to select between commerce and science, and I just made it just enough. Like I was the last person on that list to get into science. Otherwise, I would have taken commerce. So the only metric of how people measured you back in the day was कि भाई ये IIT फोड़ पाएगा, ये IEEE फोड़ पाएगा. And unfortunately, for me in school, especially 11th and 12th grade, my coaching sir for IIT and JEE, he's like, हम तुमसे सच बोल रहे हैं, ये तुमसे नहीं हो पाएगा. तुम्हारी अम्मी हमको रोज फोन करती है, बोलती है कि बेटा बहुत मेहनत कर रहा है, कुछ एडवाइस दो, but this is the honest advice I'm giving you. So that was the toughest thing for me to swallow. Because like all of us want to like crack IEEE and JEE. So I would say in school I was very like following the typical norms and structures कि भाई हाँ ये ऐसा बोला है तो यही तरह से अगर डॉक्टर बनोगे तो ही करोगे, सक्सेसफुल हो पाओगे, इंजीनियर बनोगे, आईआईटी में जाओगे तो ही क्रैक कर पाओगे. So I think I would say I was definitely not confident in my school. Yeah. Now I am much more, but yeah, back in the day, I would just say I was a curious person. I had different ideas, but I was not confident enough to follow my own gut and instinct. But I was still very curious. I used to read a lot of like books. I would say even back then, Tinkle, Champak, Supandi, bro, like all of it. Harry Potter, जो भी मिला पढ़ लिया. थोड़ा बहुत सविता बाप भी पढ़ लिया, but everything, just like every shit, like bro.
Interesting. So, bro, before we move forward, can you move a little back? I think you're out of focus slightly.
Yes.
Perfect. That is perfect. Okay. So, do you think you started gaining that confidence in college, or do you think that sort of happened later in life?
So, what happened was I realized at one point that in normal रास्ते से मेरा कुछ नहीं होने वाला है लाइफ में. Because suddenly you realize that there are like hundreds of people ahead of you. Like I remember this guy I used to go to coaching with, Shyam. He could solve all these problems in like a second, all these IIT problems. So I realized that कि यहाँ पे तो कुछ नहीं होगा. So then I was with this Gujarati uncle, and we were trying to like I don't know, like we were trying to get some tickets or something, right? We were like, or actually not even tickets. I was trying to get my driver license. So I was trying to get my driver license so I could drive like the Activa. And oh boy, I was a horrible driver. So I'm going there every day to that office to get the license, and they're like, bro, there's like 4 years to wait in line. And then one day I saw this like Gujarati uncle, and he's like, "Goose mari devani, setting karo." And there's like this huge thing in Gujarat, like anything, wo jack maar dene ka, setting kar dene ka. So, and he's like, I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, come with me. So he takes me, and he basically introduced me to some other people, and then through some connections, and And yeah, like I offered like a 500 rupee bribe, and then bro, like next thing I know, I had a license for the truck, for Activa, for four-wheeler, everything. Starting license will get.
Yeah.
And
Have
I
you
was
ever
just
driven?
chilling in that air.
Have you ever driven a truck?
No, but I have the license. So that day, I realized like this Gujju mentality of like, you don't need to have the smartness, the looks, or anything. You just need to be like Jugadu. You need to just employ the principles of Jugaad, which is like somehow find a way by hook or crook to get your way in.
Hmm.
And that was the day that I would say Jayneil was changed forever.
Hmm. That is interesting, bro. That is really interesting because I can already feel, okay, that a lot of people in the chat are like, I have always felt that I'm a little bit jugadu, right? This is what I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I also feel this, but let me speak in on behalf of chat. People are like, I've always felt like I'm a little bit jugadu. I think being in India, you can't really avoid it, right? At some level,
Yeah.
you have to do it. But maybe people haven't embraced their full jugadu self, right? Maybe they haven't realized that jugad is a competitive advantage. So, can you speak a little
Yeah.
bit to that?
So, everybody has strengths and weaknesses. Okay. So when you realize that कि भाई ये जो इंटेलिजेंस का बात है, marks लाना, going the traditional route, right? Some people are good at it. So that's their strength. So they are doubling down on it. But I'm not good at it. So then why the hell am I just like trying to compete in an area which I'm not good at? So like my brother is used to be a state level chess champion. तो मैं हमेशा उससे गेम हार जाता था. तो एक बार मैं फ्रस्ट्रेशन में मैंने पूछा मेरे भाई को कि why am I losing? And he's like, the reason you're losing is because you're playing by my rules. The day you change the rules where you make me play by your rules in that chess game, you will win. तो उस दिन मेरे लिए सब कुछ unlock हो गया था, which totally became it's like, for example, a lot of people don't know, like I'm in the US, but मेरे पास कोई US की degree नहीं है. This is, people like find it very hard to believe. I don't have a degree from the US. मेरी college engineering की जो GPA है actually is only 6.8. I had a lot of like failures, like in engineering as well, but it doesn't matter to me because I just do the jugaad. I go all in on the jugaad, like pura sara satta usme maar diya. And the philosophy is more of like, there's always something, like there's always like multiple doors to enter inside a venue or like a VIP event. एक तो है कि तुम्हारे पास VIP पास हो, तुम सेलिब्रिटी हो, and you just walk in. दूसरा है कि भाई तुम लाइन में खड़े हो, राइट? 100 लोग खड़े हुए हैं. तो मेरे जैसा बंदा गुज्जू मेंटालिटी से तरह सोचेगा कि why the hell should I wait? मैं VIP तो नहीं हूं, तो I can go in that line. और अभी ये 100 लोग खड़े हैं, the normal thinking would be भाई तुम भी 101 खड़े हो जाओ. Or 101 was actually, ironically, my roll number in college, engineering. 08 BEC 101, electronics and communication. So, मैं अभी वो लाइन में खड़ा हूं 2 घंटे के लिए, शांति से, अच्छा बच्चा. तो I was mischievous. I'm like, why should I wait? What if there's a way? कुछ जुगाड़ हो कि पीछे का किचन का दरवाजा खुला हो, मैं उसमें से वो बंदे को 100 रुपया गिफ्ट दे के अंदर घुस जाऊं, कुछ I talk my way into it. So that's the way my brain works. It's not about breaking the rules. It's about कि भाई अगर कोई competitive advantage उसको utilize क्यों नहीं करते हो? तो it's that philosophy applied to design, applied to work, applied to every area of my life. Anywhere, every breathing moment. It's like, जुगाड़ कैसे करेंगे?
That's really cool, bro. I'm already seeing in the chat, people are strongly relating, right? Because number one, in some ways, Jugaad is part of our nature, right?
Yeah.
On a very real note, it's like in India, we have a lot of middlemen, right? For most things, you have middlemen who can, for example, help you get that driver's license.
Yeah.
Right. And the reason is because there's just, maybe it's a population thing. Maybe it's, maybe there's other factors as well. But I'm seeing a lot of relatability. So people are also sharing their GPAs in the chat. So I'm going to highlight a few. If anybody else also wants to do it, you want to get it off your chest.
Yeah.
Okay. So Shant, 5.95. And bro, there are some people from IIT here who are like, bro, I'm in IIT, but I'm here listening to this. So
yeah, it was my dream to go to IIT, but I couldn't clear the JEE, for example. And I'll tell you one moment that really changed for me. So I was in Texas. I mean, I live in Dallas, Texas, and I was at this event, right? We had like nice food, and I'm eating some food, and this like Gujarati uncle who's like, like I got a nice belly and stuff, and he comes in, he's like, and he's got a bunch of samosas in his mouth, like, and I couldn't hear what he's saying, and I'm like, what? 1 minute, like have samosa, like khaiye aur khaiye, and I'm like, oh, thank you, uncle. And like we are chatting and stuff, and it's like a very, very amazing hotel. It's a Hilton hotel. It's a very expensive hotel. I assumed it was worth at least $10 to $15 million. And we just started talking, and he's like, tour of the hotel dekhoge? I'm like, yeah, why not? I mean, so he takes me inside the hotel, and then we're just walking, and I'm admiring, like, wow, this hotel. And I'm talking to this guy, and literally this guy looks like that, that pan ka galla, where people are just like shooting the shit and then eating some pan. Like, he's exactly like that, right? If you had to take a guess, you would assume that this guy was not even educated. Like, I'm not even making fun of him at this point. So then we go near a room on the ground floor, and he's like, andar dekhoge? And I'm like, uncle, this is borderline like criminal activity. You can't just koi andar hoga, kapde pehne hai, nahi pehne, kuch bhi pata nahi kya ho jayega. He opens the room, and I'm like, uncle, this is your room? And he's like, सारे कमरे हमारे हैं. And I'm like, सारे कमरे तुम्हारे? Oh, हाँ, हम owner है. And I'm just like, this guy does not even look like he went to an MBA, and he owns the entire hotel.
Damn.
So then I found out this guy did not even so he was like basically in Gujarati, he's like, hame 10वीं pass par nathi, which is I did not even clear 10th standard. And he came to the US, and he literally owns a goddamn hotel, and he employs other people who actually have gone and done MBA in the US. So that day, I was like, this is true Jugaad, where this guy figured out how he wanted to do business. He doesn't even know how to use all these finance terms, but he employs all these people who know how to do it. And I felt so proud that day. I felt like anything is possible in this world with that mindset.
100%, bro. 100%. There's, we like to talk about the big success stories. We like talking about the Satya Nadella, the Sundar Pichais.
Yes.
But that, I feel like Satya Nadella, Sundar Pichai, the MasterCard guy, what's his name? The dude with the turban.
Yeah.
Amazing guy. I heard this thing very recently. So we look at those people, and that represents to me, I think, one category of people in India. People who did their engineering, maybe IIT, IIM in the, let's say, I want to say 80s, although it's around that. And then that was the migration, and those people now hold these crazy roles at multinational companies. Dude, I'm forgetting the MasterCard guy's name. If somebody can tell me who he is. He was telling me his team that he was working at had 10,000 people. 10,000 people in his team. He was like a VP or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, I cannot imagine having a team of 10,000 people. Of course, there's some structure there. You have other people reporting to you. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is that represents one type of person.
Yeah.
The other type of person who we don't speak too much about is the one who is not glorified, who's not really talked about in popular culture. But there is a good amount of people who've set up very profitable, very low-key businesses, right? A lot of them Gujju businessmen and others from India. Not talked about enough. What do you think about that?
I'll tell you an example. So, like in the US, there's this Patel brothers. So in US, if you want to buy Indian groceries, right, you can't just go to like a Walmart and be like, "Are bhai, humko wo Lay's magic masala de do." You can't do that. So you have to go to an Indian grocery store. So this guy, this Patel brothers, this Mr. Patel who started it, dude, I have relatives who know this Mr. Patel, the original founder, who used to go door to door, literally just selling all these vegetables and kirana and all this stuff. And from there, it's become like this huge empire. And the proudest moment for me, I'll give you another example. So in the chat, how many of you have tried Balaji wafers? Like literally, I want everyone to put in the chat, like whatever flavor you tried of Balaji. Let's see what people are saying.
You'll see it in a bit. There's a bit of a delay.
Yeah. So the most proudest moment for me was when I was in this Indian grocery store, and I always like buy Balaji, and I didn't even look at it, and I look in the back of it where it's manufactured, it says Rajkot, Gujarat, and I was like, wait, this is actually started by some Gujju dude, and I felt really proud, right? So I looked up this thing. So every year in Gujarat, like Modi started this like vibrant Gujarat summit, which is to like get more foreign investors and people to invest in Gujarat and stuff. And they had a lot of big shots like Mukesh Ambani and all these people there. And dude, everybody's speaking in English. Like when you're speaking to like all these people live and they're speaking in English just like us. And this owner of this, like, what is it, like 5,000, 6,000 crore empire of Balaji wafers, he comes on, and dude, he speaks in Gujarati. Like the only guy at that whole thing, he speaks so confidently in Gujarati. And that day, my whole body shivered. It's like this person, whether he knows how to speak in English or not, I don't know. But let's assume that he doesn't like to speak in English. But he's running a goddamn empire. That's so huge. And yeah, maybe it's not global. Maybe it's not global like, other companies that we know about. But goddamn, dude, people don't talk about these successes.
Dude, on this fan, we're big fans of all things Balaji, right? Whether that's Balaji Srinivasan, somebody who's changing things in the crypto scene in India for the better, or if it's Balaji wafers. We've talked about Balaji wafers slightly in one of the streams. But real quick, Balaji time, okay? Balaji salted. What's your favorite flavor? Tell me this.
Mine is probably the cream and onion. It's really nice. I like that.
We have Harsh from Rajkot in the chat as well.
Oh, hey Harsh, what's going on? Game show.
So we're seeing potato. I mean, sorry, why potato? Tomato.
Tomato, yeah, that's a classic one.
Salted. Balaji Save. That's another one.
Yeah.
OP, bro. We're seeing classic salt. So the reason I'm also highlighting this is I haven't had Balaji wafers myself. So, so I'm just like
dude, they double down on the quantity. That's the best thing. Like when you buy Lay's.
Tell me more about that, yeah.
So when you buy Lay's, right? Lay's is pretty much half the packet you buy is like air, right? And they get Saif Ali Khan and all these people to like sponsor them, like a lot of budget. Obviously, it's owned by, ironically, a foreign company, PepsiCo, which is headquartered in Dallas, very close to where I live. And you got Balaji, dude. They haven't got any like big shot celebrity. They're like, listen, if we nail down the quality and distribution, we've got it. Which is when you buy like a Balaji wafer for the same price as Lay's, you get double the quantity. That's the biggest draw right there. It's good quality. It's double the quantity. Boom. And you're not gonna freaking find a Lay's there, bro. You got a small thela of this panwala who's selling that, and he's only going to offer the Balaji because Balaji is like, even if we don't make money from the small panwalas, we want to go there. We still want to distribute there. And that kind of relationship. So another thing about this Gujju philosophy, one thing I talked about is like hustle. But I'll tell you a small poem in Gujarati, then I'll translate to Hindi, then English. I know, just wait with me. So a very successful businessman in Gujarat at an early age told me this. He said, Dhanda pachad na dodo, sambandh pachad dodo. Sambandh che to dhando che. Dhando jase pan sambandh nahi jaye. So when you translate that, it basically this poem becomes, don't chase after business, chase after relationships. The business is there because of the relationship. And then the business might go away, but the relationship won't. And that's the whole Gujju mindset, is like, let's make friends and business partners and relationships with people. Let's embrace everybody. Let's connect with everyone. Let's start to form bonds. So you will see a lot of Gujju people be like, Acha, ghar pe aake khana kha ke jana. Like, just invite you randomly. Like, whoever you are doesn't matter. Like, you could be just like passing by my door, bro. And I'll be like, hey, you here? Okay, you know what? Have some dokla and come on and then go. So it's this very like inviting hospitality mindset. And that's also forced me out of my comfort zone to connect with people.
So, bro, sorry to interrupt, but we're having some technical difficulties, it seems like, in the chat. It's lagging for a few people. So let's do this. This is as good of a time as any. We are now going to jump into our break. So Jayneil, on these streams, we do commercial breaks, just like old school TV.
Wow.
This started as a bhel break because I was eating bhel the other day, and we were like, I was like, dude, it's on my table. I'm streaming and I can't eat it. So we did a break. Now we do these breaks regularly. So what I'm going to do, folks, is we're going to enter our break for now. It's going to be a short, a minute max. Okay. What I want to show you today is I want to show you a bit of a sneak peek into a new type of video that we're going to be having. So this is just 30 seconds, right? This is a part of vlogs. We are, by the way, building up a video team. We've gotten our first video editor on board. We've got a few more people who are helping out. Within a few weeks, we're going to be expanding our video team, so I'll keep you all posted. Anyways, so I'll see you all after the break. Today's break, let me show you a little sneak peek. I got my unique iMac carrying system. I've got a tote bag like this. And of course, I'm not just going to pick it up like that. I'll probably crack the screen. But now, the thing with iMacs is that they look sexy on desks. But they're not meant to be carried. Because look at the sharp edges on this, right? It was literally cutting into my fingers. So now I have cloth on it. I'm carrying it back home. That was all. That was it for today's break. I wish I had more to show you all, but I really haven't edited my vlogs. Hopefully my editor Yash, we can do something good around that. That was a small sneak peek. Tell me whether you folks liked that. Jayneil, let's get back to our conversation, man. I want to go a little bit deeper on those things you've talked about, right? Today, it sort of seems like the business world understands that, hey, networking is important, relationship is important, right? However, that's been a big part of Gujarati culture, right? A big part of Gujarati culture, bigger than somebody who's not in the scene might think. So can you tell me a little bit more about that?
So, let's say that, so I'll give you this real life example. I was actually traveling to Costa Rica, okay? And I was sitting in my seat. And I see that in front of me, there are two people talking, okay? So the conventional wisdom is, bhai, tum tumhara karo, hame hamara karne do. Don't bother about other people's business. Like what right do you have to bother in other people's business? So most of the times when you go to a restaurant, you go anywhere, like this is for everybody, it doesn't matter wherever you're in India. Everybody's in their own group, in their own zone. You're in your phone, you're doing this, and nobody goes out of their way. So if you're, let's say, sitting at a restaurant or a coffee in Indranagar in Bangalore, for example, and you have a laptop open and you have, some tool you're using, normally I would be like, okay, this guy is a stranger, I don't know him, let him do his thing. My Gujju mind is more like, that laptop is interesting. What tool is he using? Looks like he's editing some video. You know what? I always wanted to edit some video. Maybe I can ask him some question about what tools you're using. So my curiosity, with the fact that I've been trained to be like, just talk to anybody. It doesn't matter. What's the worst that can happen? Jail mein dal denge kya bande ko? So just for talking like that. So I'm just like, hey, I'll talk with you. The worst thing you will say is, bye, I'm busy, bro. Fuck off. That's the worst you will say, right? And even worse than that, you're going to punch me, right? But the point is, even through all those worst scenarios, I'm still going to live. But the upside, the profit, the Gujju mindset is, you might show me how you're editing your videos. You might show me your tools and techniques. You might be like, hey, do you want to learn this? I can teach you. So with that mindset, I was on that plane and there is this businessman and suddenly he's like, oh yeah, we sold that company for $150 million. So I am like, wait, what? 150 million? What's going on? So I literally said, like literally you're sitting in front of me in the plane and I'm like, hey, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but I couldn't help but overhearing you. Just want to introduce myself. My name is Jayneil and just want to say huge fan. Don't mean to like invade your privacy. He's like, no, that's fine. And turns out he's also Gujarati. some businessman from Chicago. And dude, we really bonded. I got his phone number and he's like, yeah, if you're ever in Chicago, bro, ghar pe aa jana. But like, look at the power of this. I just made friends with this guy who sold a company for $150 million on the plane, who's going to like have fun in Costa Rica. So the mentality is more like, jo fear hota hai. Like whenever I'm in a room, let's say I'm in a room right now full of like IIT, IIM Ahmedabad people, right? So, and which is very true because I live like 30 minutes. I used to live in Ahmedabad, 30 minutes away from IIM Ahmedabad. And people are like, oh, IIM Ahmedabad, right? So for me, it's none of that like, oh, the hype and stuff. It's more of like, yaar, yahi banda hai, jo mere tarah khana khata hai, same like me, same तरीके से टट्टी करता है, खाना खाता है और सोने जाता है. There's no difference. ऐसा नहीं है कोई difference है. So I kind of put the whole titles away in the background and I'm more like, let me network. Because for a lot of people, what happens is, agar मैंने देखा कि ex IIM Ahmedabad, ex IIT Bangalore, ex IIT Bombay, ex this, ex Ola, ex Swiggy, intimidation हो जाता है. यार मैं तो छोटा सा person हूँ. And this person is so successful. मेरे लिए, literally, I remind myself, ये बंदा और तुम सेम तरीके से टट्टी करते हो, you both are same. ये जो pedestal पे डालने का जो business है उसको निकाल दो. So then I can have a conversation like two human beings. I'm not worshipping you. I respect what you've done. But मैं तुम्हारे पैर नहीं पूछ रहा. I'm more of just like, hey, what's going on? Oh, nice. You went to IIM. Very cool. How was it like? बहुत chill conversation होता है. And I walk away with a lot of learnings from that conversation. Right? Yeah. So you worked at an academy. You did all these amazing things. Dude, I don't have enough time in my life to do all these things. But if I just have a chill conversation with you, I can learn from your learnings in life. Which is another of this Gujju mentality is like, Bijani bhulo mati sukho, which means learn from other people's mistakes.
Yeah. 100%, bro. Totally vibe with that, you know. I've just observed that a lot of people, firstly, are scared to do that in real life.
Yeah.
Right? It takes them, I think it's a form of approach anxiety, right?
Yeah.
You're sort of scared to go speak to people. I'll give you one example of this. Like I used to work at not work at Starbucks, but work out of Starbucks, right? With my computer.
Yeah.
And there were people who I would see multiple times a week.
Yeah.
And let me just tell you this. I had and still do have some level of social anxiety. Okay. Not so much as before. I'm quite chill now. But there was a time when I would see the same people and I would be too scared to even say hi. Despite the fact that we see each other, we recognize each other's face. But then one day I just said no. Right. So I walked up, spoke to them. And then they became almost like a regular, right? I would see them at Starbucks regularly. We would chat, you know, when we're taking our breaks, we're standing outside Starbucks, you know, we're just talking. And I did that with so many people, right?
Yeah.
The question I want to get into, right? Something I want to dive deeper into. You've been able to do that, not just physically, but also online. There's a lot of people right now from Cohort 3 who are in the chat right now. Hello, Cohort 3.
Yeah. Hello.
And they know you are prolific at cold emailing, cold outreach, and building relationships online. So can we talk a little bit about that? Maybe you can start with how did we connect? And then we can maybe talk about your general ideas around this.
So I maybe somebody can put this in the chat, but I have a podcast. It's called DesignMBA.show. So the whole thing came about to me was, this whole Gujju mindset of like networking with people. Because the philosophy is that at one point, like I said, I realized that I don't have to do everything by myself. Like I don't have to be the smartest, the fastest, the prettiest, or anything like that. But as long as I'm connected, Od Khan, as we say in Gujarati, like, friendship. As long as I know the right people, I'm good. As long as I invest in them. So I was trying to find this hack, like if there's a successful person and I'm on I was doing cold emailing for almost like 10 to 12 years, even in Ahmedabad, Bangalore, all those places. I was going to conferences, meeting people, cold emailing them, messaging them, showing up at random events. So I had experience doing it more in person. I went to IIT Bombay, got, like an internship from their head of computer science department. So like all these things that were just like showing up and doing it. But then the world was moving online, right? Like your reach is way more. So I was like, okay, I need to start doing this. So I started emailing people, like I started figuring out like exactly how to do this, what to say. And one of the things is everybody is selfish. They want to talk about themselves. So if you make it about them, that's a perfect hook. So in all my cold emails now and before and in the future, pehli jo do lines hoti hai is always about them. Hey, Abhinav, watch your live stream. Like, let's say if I was in this live stream, watching and I was like, how do I cold email Abhinav? So the first thing is finding his email.
Cold email Jayneil. How do I cold email Jayneil?
Yeah.
This guy is
exactly.
This guy is mind blowing. How have I not heard of him before?
So my thing would be like, अच्छा, इसने ये शर्ट बहुत वो मगरमच्छ वाला शर्ट पहना था. So my first line would be, hey Abhinav, loved watching the stream. My favorite takeaway was this, that eat Balaji wafers, for example, something like that, right? You get Balaji all the way. So now Abhinav knows I'm not bullshitting, because to know that about Balaji means that I had watched the stream. So the first thing would be something about them. So that will hook his attention. फिर second paragraph में मैं लिखूंगा कि what do I do? Because Abhinav has no idea. Like, okay, I watched the stream, but who am I? So I'll say like, okay, I'm in Rajkot and I do web design, for example. Something about me. And the third paragraph would be something of value that I can offer. This is another Gujju philosophy, which is like, pehla apo, pachi lo, which means like you first give, then you take. So then I would say something like, hey, I know you mentioned that you were growing the video team. I have experience editing videos, and this is my sample work. I would be happy to intern for free or do something, whatever, like, like XYZ. Here's the most important part. I will not put this bullshit line, hope for a prompt response from you, sir. Like, none of that shit. I would just say, I completely understand you might be busy and this may not be a feasible request. Like, logo ko option do ki bhai wo walk out ho jaye, bahar ho jaye. Maybe he's not looking for someone, it's fine. So I'll say that. I'll put a namaste emoji and that's it. So which means that even if he doesn't respond, it's okay because he's busy. I already said that in the email. Most of the times people respond to that. That's literally my template for emailing people. Cold emailing on LinkedIn, whatever you name it. And a step further would be, if I really wanted to go all out, I would actually record myself a short video and put that video in that email. So now Abhinav is going to be like, damn, this guy's like really put in work. So going back to the podcast. So the podcast I literally started is because I'm a designer, I'm in design, and there's this whole like business side of design. So I wanted to merge the two, which is the design MBA. And we also have a YouTube channel where you can watch the video interviews as well. Like there's one of Abhinav as well. If somebody can post that in the chat.
Links are not allowed in the chat. So.
Oh, okay. Never mind. So you can check it out on YouTube as well. So the point is, I saw amazing work that Abhinav was doing, right? And for me, if I had emailed Abhinav just out of the blue, like, hey man, let's just get on a chat, call and just chat like that, he'd be like, maybe yes or no, but not 100% yes, because he's busy. So that's why I started the podcast. It's a way for me to learn. It's a way for me to do my own MBA without spending $200,000 in Stanford or Harvard. I am learning from people who are doing it on the ground, people like Abhinav and so many other people. And what I did was I literally messaged him on LinkedIn. I said, Abhinav, I watched your ABNUX 2 video. Love this. And I mentioned the specific part about the video, like very detailed. So he knew I was not bullshitting. And I said, here's my podcast. Would love to have you on if you're available. And then I believe he listened to one of my episodes and he's like, yeah, awesome. Let's do this. And then we actually get on a call. And before getting on the call, I actually sent him a list of questions I was going to ask him, which showed, I believe my questions would have shown him कि भाई ये बंदे ने research किया है. मैं कभी किसी के साथ भी network करता हूँ, मैं बहुत research करता हूँ online. Because when you're networking with someone online, bro or girl, you have so much information available. उनके past videos, उनके articles, उनके favorite preferences. Effort डालो. Half-ass मत करो. So I do that a lot. I literally spent, I believe at that point, 1 to 2 weeks researching Abhinav, writing down notes. Okay, Unacademy mein tha, pehle Bangalore mein tha. He talked about not being on the dean's list or the university topper in university. So okay, I need to talk about this as well. तो पूरा रिसर्च किया, फिर जाके मैंने वो मैसेज भेजा लिंक्डइन पे. And now basically that podcast is a gateway for me just to network with more people and learn.
Great, bro. And I will add one more thing, is that most people give up after the first one because they're like, I didn't receive a response. Two things I'll say to that, okay? And let me give you stories. First one, I was recently cold emailing somebody who's the CEO of a very, very popular crypto exchange in India. Right? For people who are regulars, you know which exchange I'm talking about. Cold emailing, and I scroll up, and there's a cold message there from 2012. There's a cold message in that Twitter DM from 2012. And back then they used to run a different startup. And there was no reply to it, I'll say that. But it was some bullshit that I said, okay? I just replied with a joke. But anyway, so I reached out now and I was like, haha, remember that, by the way. And then we started talking. So it's almost like, even if you don't get a response, wouldn't it be really funny if you ended up doing something in the future and you scroll back and your first message was some random shit? So number one is that. Number two, the story, to add to Jayneil's story, he said that, and I think that he mentioned ABNUX too. That's one thing that got my attention because I wasn't doing that much on ABNUX too. And he said something about how dharmic patterns are, XYZ. It was a small thing from one of my episodes. Even I don't remember which one, but I remember talking about it. We spoke all of this, and Jayneil, I ghosted you, right, for a while.
Yeah, he did.
So tell me about that. Tell me about why is follow-up important?
So for me, it's all about like, eventually you'll wear down the person, but they'll say yes. Because the way I look at it is, you don't know me, right? So it's almost like if you go to a stranger's place and you knock, एक बार घंटी बजाए, नहीं घुड़ाई, टैंग 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 टैंग, 10 बार घंटी बजाए. So 10 बार घंटी बजाने के बाद दो चीजें होगी. Somebody will come out and throw some water on your face or something, or they're not there, they're traveling. But I know that अगर मैंने 10 बार घंटी बजाई है, तो there's no like chance ke like you're watching some IPL game and you're like shouting like, "Arey yaar, sixer maar diya," and you miss that. So with follow up, my thing is, okay, I messaged you, you were probably busy, you thought about it, you're like, I don't know. Maybe a lot of people are doing that to you. So then my thing is, I'm genuine, and the only way I can show the genuineness to you is by being consistent. So I did follow up multiple times, I believe, after that. Like something else, like, oh, I watched this about you, I like that too. So over time, those interactions, you will see, yeah, this person is persistent. This person is genuine. Because in the online space, one of the best filters you can have to figure out if somebody's genuine or not is how persistent they are. If somebody is continuously emailing you multiple times, respectfully, not like, काहे हमरा email का reply नहीं किया, फोड़ देंगे तुम्हें, like not like that kind of stuff, but more of like respectfully. ऐसा नहीं कि एक ही दिन में 6 email डाल दिए. एक week email किया, नहीं reply आया, wait another week, then email again, maybe try a different channel. So respectful like that. So then I believe that whoever it is, I don't care who that person is, अगर वो reply भी नहीं करेगा, वो reply भी नहीं करेगी, but she will remember कि हाँ, this person, they will have the mental memory. So like Abhinav said, in the future, when you do something more successful, they'll remember like, this person, this person is very, very persistent. So it's all about framing their impression of you.
I'm going to read some comments out to you. Okay. We have a lot of genuines in the chat. Genuine, right? I know you've watched a few of our streams, but you're not fully into it. This is something we strongly believe in. We believe genuineness wins over everything else, right? Even if
Yes.
you send a stupid email, as long as your intent is good, right? As
Yeah.
long as you're not trying to just get a quick win or whatever, your intent is good.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna hold it against you, right?
Yeah.
So the comment here is अपने genuineness को संप्रेषित करें. And I see a lot of genuines in the chat. Okay, Manny says Paytm करो. नहीं नहीं, follow up करो.
Ah, very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, yeah. So Jenny, tell me this also now. Let's switch gears thoda sa. Let's talk
Yeah.
about content creators.
Yeah.
You've been working on the Design MBA podcast for a good amount of time, right?
Yeah.
You are in the US, so I think your approach has mostly been, let's do audio, let's do,
Yeah.
your production quality is amazing. You really, really take the time to research your guests, so that genuineness can be felt throughout the chain, right? It's not just how
Mm-hmm.
you cold email, it's your entire approach to things.
Mm-hmm.
What are you thinking? You as a content creator, what does 2021 look like to you?
Well, so one of the best things is when you collaborate with other people, like, my collaboration with you, working with you, like that was the main reason why I used to create content, but it was more of like, because I'm in the US, I'm focusing more just on the audio, but then you're like, yo, like, look at this in India. Like, YouTube is even more consumed more than just like audio version. So that inspired me to start a YouTube channel. You inspired me to be more active on Twitter. मैं LinkedIn पे था पहले, पर अभी now is like Twitter पे भी बहुत active हूँ. So now it's like I have the best of both worlds. I'm doing things that are best practice in the US, but then I'm also realizing that the game जो है वो पूरा different है Indian market के लिए. You can't just copy जो US में work कर रहा है सीधा तो सीधा without changing anything in India. So for me, 2021 is being more focused on YouTube. जैसे कि like अभी कुछ महीनों के बाद मैं season 3 record करूंगा podcast के लिए, right? तो basically that the one thing by default is मैं सारी interviews video format में record करने वाला हूँ. So 28 to 30 whatever XYZ interviews I do सारे video में होंगे. तो वो सारे videos अभी YouTube पे भी आ जाएंगे. That's one thing for me is like increasing my YouTube presence. Thanks to your mentorship. Abhinav Baba ki jai ho. Then another thing was being more active on Twitter, right? So now like we both like worked out a strategy, and then I have enough content. I could say I have one tweet per day for all of April, and I want to follow up on this model to have like a buffer of content. So now I have more content from Twitter that I can reuse on LinkedIn. So basically, as a content creator, it's been about doubling down on certain things that I had not focused on before, especially the video component, and still taking that production quality that I had before. So I don't have to do a lot of work, but it's like, mera mic acha hai. I'm making sure the guest has good audio quality like you do. So I still have the good stuff that I picked up from the US and stuff, but then I'm going into a lot more emerging markets like India, where it's like YouTube is the default way.
That's interesting, bro. One thing I've also liked about your approach is you have a very systemic approach, right? So let me just touch upon this for everybody here. Jayneil and I are total opposites. We align in a lot of ways, right? Our approach, our worldview, the way we approach building a career online, to put in broad terms. However, there's one thing that we totally are different on, and that's our approach to planning. Okay, although we do align in a lot of places. I'm just exaggerating.
I know.
Jayneil plans everything meticulously, right? Jayneil's approach is let's build a buffer of content, because to Jayneil, consistency is really important, and that's what I really appreciate, right? So for the podcast, I'm sure a lot of you have noticed this. Most podcasters that start out stop after a while. I'm embarrassed to admit there's an ABNUX 2 podcast on Spotify, right? I've done 4 episodes. The 4th one is on YouTube. I haven't even uploaded it to Spotify.
Oh my God.
Okay, and I'll tell you why. My reason is I do things almost just in time, right? It's not procrastination. It's just in time project management. So my this thing is a little bit more spontaneous, and the negatives of that is that consistency can get fucked up for me sometimes. But your approach is one where you start from that place of abundance by building up this base, and then you start doing that. So yeah, just thought I'd share that.
Yeah, I mean it's both are right in their own approaches. My thing is more like the show must go on. So if I, let's say, fall sick, या फिर कोई मेरे दोस्त का वेडिंग आ गया राजकोट में and I have to go there, right? तो all these things take time away from me. मुझे उस वक्त pressure नहीं चाहिए. तो like I'm so chill right now because मेरे सारे interviews for 2021 have been done. Like अभी मैं बस सो जाऊं ऑटो पायलट पे, they will go on. Every other week they'll launch a new one because I've already done all the interviews. अभी जब मैं जुलाई में रिकॉर्डिंग शुरू करूंगा नेक्स्ट सीजन 3 के लिए, that's for all of 2022. So by December end, I'm going to be done for 2022. At least the podcast content. So it helps me, this buffer, to focus on a new area. So let's say if we say tomorrow, like, let's do something with TikTok. So I can say that I have the bandwidth, the mental capacity to do this. But at the same time, I've learned from you also with the just in time is कि सब कुछ प्लान नहीं हो सकता है. Like जैसे अभी ये स्ट्रीम लाइव करने वाले हैं तो समथिंग यू जस्ट गोटा विंग इट. यू कैन जस्ट प्लान एवरीथिंग. अच्छा हम क्या बोलेंगे, ये बालाजी वेफर के बारे में बोलेंगे. वी डिडंट प्लान एनी ऑफ दिस थिंग. वी आर जस्ट लाइक फोड़ लेंगे, जुगाड़ कर लेंगे. So if you mix both of these aspects just in time with a little bit of planning, फटाके फूट जाएंगे. मुझे फटाके फोड़ने बहुत बहुत पसंद है. I love it.
So bro,
did you burst them or no?
Can you push your mic slightly? It's just cutting
Like,
your mic, just your mic. Just push it slightly away from you because it's in the frame.
Yes. All right.
A little bit more. I'm seeing people are getting the OCD triggered in the chat. What the hell, man? It's just a mic. Yeah, dude. Dude, no. So no fatake, right? Although metaphorical level पे मुझे भी बहुत पसंद है bro फटाके उड़ाने, right? And I strongly believe this. We have to be the glitch we want to see in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Right? Which is, if there is something in the world that you wish existed, whether that is content, whether that's a new product, whether it's a community, whether it is, you're like, the world should be different. I don't like how it is.
Yeah.
But I can imagine the world would be different in this way.
Yeah.
You have to do whatever you can to either find somebody who also has that worldview, right? So now you feel in sync, or
True.
you have to start something yourself, right? Be the change you want to see in the world. Be the glitch you want to see in the Matrix.
Exactly. 100%.
Yeah. So, Jayneil, we're coming up to our last 15 minutes. The last 10 minutes of which we will put a countdown timer on screen. We will do some rapid fire questions with you.
Oh my God. Maza aayega.
Yeah. So, Jayneil, tell us this. Now that people on the stream are aware of who you are, of course, they're going to follow you on Twitter. A lot of them will check out your podcast as well. Can you tell us a little bit more about our collaboration? What do we have going on?
So this is really amazing. So a lot of designers that we talk with, they are really smart people. They know their tools, but जो business aspect वाला जो part है वो थोड़ा lacking है. Meaning like they just haven't experimented with that. And when I say the business of design,
Can I interrupt? Just
go ahead.
You think we can generalize to business for creators? Because we have a lot of people who don't do design. Maybe they don't call it design, but they are creating something. Maybe we can talk from that perspective.
Yeah. So जो creators लोग हैं, anybody's a creator, right? You're creating content. You're making content, videos, design elements, whatever. You're a creator, right? You're a creative person. So a lot of the questions I see being asked again and again is, how do I get my own clients on the side? Maybe I have a full-time job and I want to get some freelance clients on the side. Maybe I'm in college, right? And I want to get some freelance clients on the side to do some, explore my creativity. Some other questions we get asked are something along the lines of, I'm in a company, I want to stay there, but I want to grow within the company, right? So how do you apply all these Gujju networking talks we talked about, like, the techniques we talked about? How do you grow within the company as a creator? Some people say, hey, I want to build my own brand. I want to build my brand so that I can network with other people. I can reach out to other people. I can have them contact me, or I can get like consulting work from that,
Mm.
freelance work from it. So all these things, which is business, the business of creatives. So it's all these different tracks. What we want to teach is how do you achieve them? Whether तुम कंपनी में हो, कॉलेज में हो, जॉब कर रहे हो, फ्रीलांस फुल टाइम कर रहे हो, doesn't matter. But ये जो philosophy है, this Gujju philosophy of like how you can employ networking in any of these domains to achieve your goals, to build your brand, to get clients, how to cold email people, right? How to network with people to build relations. See, a lot of people, what they do is they do transactional exchanges. कि भाई हम तुम्हें दे रहे हैं एक बालाजी, तुम हमें दे रहे हो एक चॉकलेट आइसक्रीम फ्रॉम वाडीलाल. That's basically how, or from Amul or something like that. It's like a very transactional exchange. You give me this, I give you this.
Mm.
But how do you get people to invest in you? कि जिस दिन तुम ये स्किल सीख लोगे to get other people to invest in you, उस दिन ये समझ लो कि तुम्हारा जो करियर का ग्राफ है ना पूरा रॉकेट शिप में चला जाएगा. क्योंकि जब कोई पर्सन तुम्हें एडवाइस देता है, दे आर लाइक, हाँ भाई तुम है ना ये टूल यूज कर लेना वीडियो एडिटिंग के लिए. थिंक अबाउट दैट. और दूसरा सोचो कि जहां पे कोई जो एक्सपर्ट वीडियोग्राफर है वो बोलेगा कि मैं तुम्हारे साथ बैठूंगा 3 घंटे, तुम्हें सिखाऊंगा कैसे करना है. दैट्स कॉल्ड इन्वेस्टिंग इन यू. तुम्हें ये भी बोलूंगा कौन सा तुम्हें टूल बाय करना है. तो दिस फिलॉसफी, दिस बिलीफ हमें ये सिखानी है. भाई देखो, तुम्हें कैसे ब्रांड बिल्ड करना ये कहीं पे भी तुम्हें मिल जाएगा. ऑनलाइन फॉरम्स पढ़ लो, कोर्सेज बाय कर लो, यूट्यूब वीडियो देख लो, मिल जाएगा. फ्रीलांस क्लाइंट्स कैसे लाने हैं, thousands, actually maybe maybe millions of videos on there, कैसे क्लाइंट्स लाने हैं, राइट? जो इंफॉर्मेशनल चीजें हैं वो तुम्हें मिल जाएगी. पर हमारा डिफरेंस ये है कि मेरा और अभिनव का ये है कि भाई ये कोई ट्रांजैक्शनल एक्सचेंज नहीं है कि अगर तुम हमारे कोर्स अटेंड करोगे तुम्हें बस नॉलेज मिल जाएगा. नॉलेज तो भाई हर जगह पे है, राइट? कैसे करना है, हमारा मेन गोल है कि बिलीफ ऑल्टर करना. जैसे I'll give you an example. Somebody said in the chat about my accent. So this is an accent that I had to work on for 1 goddamn year. मैंने नोटिस किया कि भाई कुछ जगह पे, कुछ सेटिंग्स में, if you had the so-called American accent, it benefits you. It does benefit you. लोग जो भी बोले, I'm a very proud Indian, very proud Gujarati, but I looked at it as like, अच्छा ये गेम है, अगर मेरे पास थोड़ा American accent हो जाएगा, तो basically they will look at me differently, which they do. So I spent 1 year changing that belief, changing that mindset, working on that accent. मैंने मेरे नेटवर्किंग स्किल्स यूज किए और मैंने यहाँ मेरे जो अमेरिकन फ्रेंड्स हैं उनको बोला कि हेल्प मी, इन्वेस्ट इन मी, बिकॉज आई वांटेड टू गिव अ लॉट ऑफ पब्लिक टॉक्स, आई वांटेड टू गिव अ लॉट ऑफ टॉक्स ऑन स्टेज. तो मैंने 1 साल उस पर काम किया एंड नाउ आई एम हियर. तो द सेम वे वी वांट पीपल, द क्रिएटर्स, एज यू हैव बीन टॉकिंग, टू उनकी बिलीफ ऑल्टर करनी है, टू हेल्प देम अनलॉक दोस गोल्स and things they want to achieve. So with that, we are planning a cohort-based course on the business aspects for creators, basically for creatives in specific. Or the awesome thing is because it's cohort-based, there's multiple people, not just you. तुम्हारे साथ multiple लोग होंगे, तो तुम्हें ऐसा नहीं लगेगा यार मैं अकेला हूं, मैं अकेली हूं इस जर्नी में. Multiple people with you. And we are very honest. Like we'll show you our screenshots. Like I'll show you my screenshot. Like मैंने ये person को ये लिखा था. This was the email. This was my screw up. This is the mistake I made. Don't do that. So it's very honest, raw take. And this is the stuff that Abhinav, I'm probably sure you wish the same, but I know for sure I wish I had when I was doing all these stuff in 2012, going to Powai, trying to do this on my own. So it's like, how can we reduce that learning curve for creatives? तुम अपने आप एक्सपेरिमेंट करके तो सीख जाओगे, पर यार I will feel that कि I have made some kind of impact in this world if I can reduce that learning curve for you.
For sure, man. I totally agree with that. You know what? Like it or not, the world we live in today, it's not enough to just be good at your core skill, right? Whether that's designing, whether that's programming, whether that's marketing. Like saying creators, because it is true, right? As a creator, you're making something, but if nobody sees it, if nobody appreciates what you've done, you don't feel as good,
Mhm.
right? Let's just be honest. In the end, when we're creating stuff, we're creating it a little bit for ourselves, but we're creating for other people. We want other people to enjoy or appreciate or even just consume what we've made, right? And of course, long term, genuineness wins, right? People who are genuine, love their craft, who are totally into it, they will win out in the long term over somebody who's just entering for the quick wins. However, there's a big gap, right? This is something that, so personally, I never saw this as separate from design. I was like, okay, with design, I need to do these things as well. Things around network, relationship building. But I'm glad we will be able to, in a few weeks as we figure this out. I'm glad we'll be able to tackle this head on, because another thing I've observed is with when it comes to freelancing, doing business online, most content is very US centric,
Yeah,
right? Chris Do,
true.
Chris Do, OG, love his work. You
Yeah,
should check out his
I
YouTube.
know.
He speaks to creatives directly from the business side of things. However, Chris Do doesn't know what it's like doing business in India.
That's true.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, for sure.
And the thing is, I think me and Abhinav can relate a lot, obviously because हम सब लोग Indian है. तो when a foreigner speaks about it, I think जो relation वाला part जो है ना, कि जो तात्काल की टिकट बुक करना, वो ट्रेन में धक्के खाना to go to that conference and all these things, I feel like we can relate to our bones because we've been through all those experiences.
Hmm.
Like a foreigner may not understand कि भाई this person is a creative wants to pursue her arts, but parents ने बोला है कि नहीं भाई आर्टिस्ट लोग भूखे रह जाते हैं. तो फॉरेन कंट्रीज में ये सिचुएशन इतनी प्रोमिनेंट नहीं है. वहां पे अच्छा फिर तुम आर्टिस्ट बना बेटा आर्टिस्ट बनो जाओ तथास्तु, राइट. यहाँ पे ऐसा हो जाएगा कि नहीं भाई या भिखास तू लाइक वापस आ जाओ बेटा, हमें बाहर जाके भीख नहीं मांगनी है. तो इट्स मोर ऑफ लाइक वो जो स्टिग्मा भी होता है, वी अंडरस्टैंड दैट एज वेल.
Yeah. And I love this also, the timing of things, because
Yeah,
we keep speaking about this on the channel around how we are entering a new internet in some ways, right? Not to put FOMO,
true.
right? Please, I don't
Yeah.
want to FOMO anybody into doing something. But if you've been online in the past few weeks, NFTs are popping off, right?
Yeah.
You've heard of this term called the creator economy, right?
Yes.
We've heard so much about how content about how content creation is a gateway drug to entrepreneurship. It's a gateway drug to financial independence. Um, excited about it, bro. So we're in the last 4 minutes. So let's,
Yes.
let's wrap up. Let's talk
All right.
about what else do you have going on, Jayneil?
मेरा गला सूख गया इतना बोल बोल के. I have a lot of respect for you, but
That's why
I
I've
think
got
my
this
main
for.
focus.
That's why you need
Yeah,
one.
मेरा
You need
पानी
a
में.
drink by your side.
Like, so like my main focus right now is basically, as you talked about this course that we were telling you about for creatives. So that's the main focus right now. Then aside from that, obviously, जो podcast है वो चल रहा है, and then I want to also like keep like that content buffer with my blog, so that eventually my goal is कि एक दिन एक किताब publish करनी है. So that's like the future goal, vision. So those are some things that are going on. And one thing I'll say, I know we've talked a lot about the benefits of having the Gujju mindset. So there's one negative as well. हर चीज positive नहीं होती है. So the one negative mindset which was actually altered when I moved to the US was the Gujju mindset is all of like, how can I get the best return without investing anything? Like zero में से कैसे 100 हो जाए? So even though, like let's say there was a course on how to learn the business side for creatives, right? तो I'll be like, नहीं यार ये content तो free में मिल जाएगा, मैं free में ले लूंगा. But then I realized that sometimes always looking for free stuff doesn't work out that well. Sometimes you have to pay and invest in your own self, which is buying training, buying, like अगर तुम्हें gym जाना है, you want to get in shape, then it's like, okay, मैं trainer hire करूँगा. But not like being like, नहीं, मैं बस ऋतिक रोशन के workout copy कर लूँगा blindly, just because publicly available है. So that's one thing I wanted to touch upon as well.
100% agree with that, dude. I think people are like, dude, the problem with bubble tea, is you get these things at the bottom and I'm just trying to get them out. But okay, definitely, dude. Jayneil, agree with that. I think one of the things we strongly believe in at 10K designers, and now that culture is carrying over to
Yes.
as well, which is on the internet, we're here to make friends, not bookmarks, right?
True.
In the end, bookmarks unlimited, but a bookmark is not going to talk back to you. A bookmark is not going to give you more ideas. A bookmark will not lift you up when you're feeling down. Friends do that, right? And of course, making friends online is hard. Making friends in real life, kind of easier maybe, right? You have your college friends, you've got your neighborhood. But hopefully through these cohorts, through these experiences, which is even this live stream, there's a lot of people who made friends in our Discord server. People who are not on Discord yet, I'll be sharing an invite right after the stream on my Twitter. Keep an eye out. We want to help more people make friends because the startups of the future, the channels of the future, the side projects of the future, the hustles of the future, the Balaji chips of the future, right, are going to be made through collaborations. You can do a lot of stuff alone, but eventually it adds a lot of energy to be able to do this with people who believe in the same version of the world. Yeah. So Jayneil, closing thoughts. Where can people find you? And yeah.
So you guys can follow me on Twitter. You can check out my podcast DesignMBA.show or check out the YouTube channel Design MBA as well. Maybe I'll see some cold emails. But I think one thing we should do is we should have you speaking some Gujarati as well. So maybe when we end this, you should say like Avjo, which means goodbye in Gujarati. Avjo.
Avjo. Okay, cool. We have
Yes,
about 10.
you nailed it. Avjo.
So thank you all for joining in. Avjo. ठीक है, हम Jayneil के साथ और streams करेंगे, right? We want to make Jayneil a very regular guest on our channel. So thank you, Jayneil, for joining us. And I'll talk to all of you very soon. Bye-bye.
बाहर के लिए वो जिंदगी किसी को हो ना हो हमें तो